Hey, Shalom, Shalom, Shalom. I want to start by saying, Brak Yahweh, Brak Yahweh Shai, Brak Yahweh, Brak Yahweh Shai, Kahalam La Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Gakudash. And also give honor to the apostles, the elder bishops, and the elders grand Muslim who rule well. And also Shalom to sincere Akimade pushing truth in the name of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Gakudash. And I'm back here getting a quick lesson, and this lesson is going to be going into what's going on worldwide in the news, all right? And Lord willing, this lesson be edified. In the first video you see I put up, a man sparks terror. It says breaking, man sparks terror, panic on a British flight, all right? Then I'm not going to repeat with the rest. It says passengers tackles man screaming bomb threats, and also he said some other things. But before I go ahead, I'm going to read this precept right here. 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. Let Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of devices. So one thing I realized is, the situation you see happening on our flight. Yeah, some people might say, yeah, that individual, he really got, something's wrong with him, or he's a terrorist, he's this and this now, or whatever. But when you hear the things he says on our plane, then it's like, okay, cool. This could be an inside thing. It could be, Esau, setting up agent to do things like that, because I haven't done so much. I haven't done any other research on it, to where to see what kind of punishment that individual is going to receive, which I'm going to play that video and so also play another video just to see what's going to happen with that individual. But as we know, Esau, he does things, step by steps before he can bring in on what he's trying to achieve, okay? So let's go ahead and play this video right here.
Allah Akbar! Allah Akbar! Going to bomb the plane! Get to America! Get to Trump! Allah Akbar!
Definitely, it's a setup. Okay, it's a setup. Like I said, Esau, he loves to do things, step by steps. So next minute, if you see some type of a terror attack or whatever, guess who to blame then? These individuals that are screaming what? Screaming death to. Death to. I'm not gonna say the name, but you already know the country, or you already know the person. And guess what? The same slogans of somebody screaming now. There was a protest that took place over here in Australia, and those individuals were saying now, I think there was a protest. Also, there was a man who attacked, the so-called the garage in Melbourne, and he said the same thing. He said death to, and death to two countries, okay? One is in Northern Hemisphere, another one is known as down under, and also he said death to who? The man we know as Nero, okay? Now over there in UK, now, here in Australia, what's going to be next? So, hey, you got to measure the time, man. The time we're living in. Let's go get another precept right here. Is that Ephesians? I think it is. Ephesians chapter 5 and verse, let me see. And verse 15, I'm going to read this in A in pieces. Therefore, see that you work carefully, living life with with honor, purpose, and courage, shining those who thoroughly and enable evil, not as the unwise, but as wise, sensible, intelligent, discerning people. Exactly. So we're discerning you, Esau, also discerning what you moving around, how you moving things around, how you creating these events here and there, or trying to create an event eventually, a false flag or whatever. All right, we're seeing it. Verse 16, making very most of your time on earth, recognizing and taking advantage of each opportunity, and using with wisdom and diligence, because the days are filled with evil, man. Now in the AMP says, seeing then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools but as wise. Yeah, you can't be ignorant of these things, and like these regular people, they're gonna see that situation and eat it. Verse 16, redeeming the time because the days are evil. Yeah, we are living in evil times, man. Or the days we're living in right now are evil, and Esau is on the move. So wherefore be you not unwise, by understanding what the will of the Lord is. And now we know for sure what the will of the Heavenly Father Yahweh Shem Yahshua, is. We know how Yahweh Shem Yahshua uses Esau to bring certain things here on earth to pass. Certain prophecies are gonna, be passed by Esau doing it, but the Heavenly Father is gonna be one in control, using him. We understand that, man. Okay. Verse 18, be not drunken with wine, different philosophy. Also, the philosophy of Esau, believing in his fucking system, believing in it on how he really pushed that whole narrative of terrorists. That shit is to us, Acumenist thing, man. We know for sure. We know who the real terrorists are, man. Okay, we're reading in the Exodus, but filled with the Spirit, yeah. In the AMP, do not get drunk with one, for that is wickedness, corruption, stupidity, but be filled with the Holy Spirit and consistently guided by Him, by the Holy Spirit, by the truth, by either philosophy of Esau, don't believe in it, measure it, okay, check it out, all right, and it's like, yeah, I'm gonna do this, Ephesians chapter 6 and verse let's go to it. Verse 10, finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of Yahweh Shem Shah, that you might be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. You see? And you look up in AMP, but on full armor of God, for his precepts are like the splendid armor of heavily armed soldier, so that you might be able to successfully stand up against all the schemes and the strategies and the deceits of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual weaknesses in high places. You see? In the AMP, for our struggle is not against flesh and blood, contending only with physical opponents, but against the rulers, against powers, against the forces of this present darkness, this rulership, against spiritual forces of weaknesses in heavenly supernatural places, man. And that's what we are, that's what we are living in right now, also facing, But through the Spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, we able to discern and understand, and not be carried by this, by these prosperities and of this world, man. Verse 13, wherefore take on you the whole armor of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, that you might be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand. You see, it's like stand there for having your loins girded about with truth, having a breastplate of righteousness, this truth, and your feet show with preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, where with you be able to quench all the fear darts of the wicked. All right. Take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Okay, and so hey, you gotta be able to understand what Esau is up to, what this man is pushing for, why certain things are gonna come out, like we see in this video here, and then measure. It's like look into it, okay? Because Esau's been exposed left, right, all right, and we're about to see. What's about to happen with and things like this in a minute. Hate speech, this, we about to really see it real soon, man. When this NWO really, kicks in.
Allah Akbar! Allah Akbar! Allah Akbar! Allah Akbar! going to bomb the place. That's to
Now I'm going to play this right here in the
Been a
news.
security threat on a plane flying to Scotland where Donald Trump is right now. A man wanting to send a message to the president was arrested. Let's go live to Europe correspondent Ben Downey. So Ben, what happened?
Morning, Sherman. Well, this was quite an alarming terrorism scare where passengers aboard this EasyJet flight bound for Glasgow, about an hour away from Trump's Turnberry Golf Resort, had to perform a citizen's arrest after the man started shouting "Death to America, death to Donald Trump," and threatening that he had a bomb on board. Now, thankfully, this plane landed safely at Glasgow, where police took him into custody and then began a counter-terror investigation into it. Now, of course, while this was happening, Trump was locked in negotiations with the EU President Ursula von der Leyen, inking out a new trade deal with a 15% blanket tariff plays real.
It's a capacity trade or beyond trade.
So, hey, man, look, just keep, it's like, what everything's going to lead into is going to lead into Amos chapter 8, all right? Amos chapter 8, verse 11. And also, it's going to lead into what? Into where the men of the Lord, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, are going to be, put behind jails. Real quick, let's get this right here, man. Isaiah chapter 29 and verse 20. It says, for the terrible one is brought to naught, its God is consumed, or that watch for iniquity I cut off, that make a man an offender for word, and lay a snare of him that reproving the gate, and turn aside the just for thing of naught. And this is what Esau doing right now. He's laying snares. And the snare is laying down right now is to stop the truth to come out. It's to stop the men of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, because what Esau is going to do, Esau is going to categorize us under domestic terrorists or terrorists, okay, by him laying down the snares already, And the snares he's going to lay down is Isaiah, it's Isaiah chapter 10, verse 1. Woe unto them woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and that right grievances which they have prescribed. And this is what Esau is going to use. Okay, him passing the laws to do with the terrorists, hate speech, this and that. Guess what? He's going to put us under that. He's going to put us under that. And those are the snares, man. Okay? Those are the snares that Esau is what is going to use. Put everybody in one category. Okay? Because let's go here. Let's go to the book of I just want to get this here in the book of Revelation chapter 2 and verse 10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison. Why? Because you represent Yahweh Hashem and Shah. And you should have tribulation 10 days, be thou faithful unto death, and I'll give the crown of life. Revelation 20 as well. Let's go get it. Revelation chapter 20 and verse 4. And I saw thrones, and that sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them, and I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for witnesses of Yahweh Shai. Okay, being here on Highway and Bowers, putting videos on YouTube. Okay, representing Yahweh Hashem Yahshua on earth, you're gonna be beheaded. You see, and the word of Yahweh, or high power, in which had not worshipped the beast, the system. You see, neither his image, neither had received his mark, the MOTB, upon their foreheads or in their hands, and they lived the reign with Hamashiach 1,000 years, and and it's going into the first resurrection. Okay, these here, they're gonna live with they're gonna be here with Yahweh for that 1,000 years when the kingdom is being established. All right, but you see how Esau's gonna do it, man. Let's get another one. Esau's gonna come against the men of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Revelation 12 and 10, and I heard a loud voice saying, "Heaven now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our power and the power of his Mashiach, for the accuser of our brothers cast down, which accused them before our power day and night." And guess what? Esau's gonna accuse us. Oh, this is what they do. Remember Vocal here said, man. Videos are out there. All these dumbass niggas who sold out their crazy ass shit, they're gonna number us among them. Like the number Yahushua among the transgressors is gonna be the same thing with his servants. Okay. And they're gonna accuse us doing certain things. You're gonna see AI, fucking hot, AI doing videos, using brothers' photos and voices and putting them on news. So verse 11, and they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb. And that's how we overcome him, by the blood of Yahushua, and by the word of their testimony, man. And they allowed not their lives unto death. There you have it. You see? And and that's the time we coming into, man. All right. Real quick, let me get another precept. Amos chapter 5 and verse 10. They hate him that rebuketh in the gate, and they abhor him that speaketh uprightly. You see that? And that's us. Lord willing, we endure unto the end. It start with the apostles of Great Millstone, the elder bishops, the elders, and the rest of you, I came out there, who do this thing, sincerely, man. Lord willing, we endure unto the end. Okay? This is the book of Jeremiah 20 and 7. Oh Lord Yahweh, thou hast deceived me. I was deceived. Thou art stronger than I, and has prevailed. I am derision daily. Everyone mocketh me. This is what the men of Yahweh shall go through. For since I spake, I cried out. I cried violence and spoil, because the word of Yahweh was made a reproach unto me, and derision daily. Then I said, I will not make mention of him, nor speak any more in his name. But his word was in my heart as a burning fire, shut in my bones, and I was weary with forbearing, and I could not stay. For I heard the defaming of many, fear on every side. Report say they, we will report it. All my familiars watched from my halting, saying, peradventure he will be enticed, and it will prevail against him. And we shall take our revenge on him. That's literally what we go through, man. But we're gonna be all right, man. Okay, pursuing what I just read, Revelation 12 and 11. St. John 7:7. The world cannot hate you, but it hateth me, because I testify of it, and the works thereof are evil. That's the reason why we testify against Esau, and the works that he does is evil, and he don't like it. We tell the whole world who he is, and he don't like it. You see? So hey, man, and it's gonna come, and when it gets here, don't be surprised, Akim. All right, don't be surprised. So we done, man. Right, St. John 8 and 45. And because I tell the truth, you believe me not. Which of you convinceth me of sin? And if I say the truth, why do you not believe me? He that is our power, heareth the Most High Yahweh Shem's words. Ye therefore hear them not, because ye are not of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. And this applies to our people, but first and foremost, Esau. Okay, he don't believe in the words of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. And the ones who's really gonna give us away are who? Our own kind, our own people. Okay, them niggas with Judas' spirit on them. Okay, so this right here, look, this right is gonna come to pass. Where our people gonna give us up? Amos 8:11. And when that Amos 8:11 happens, guess what? Esau is gonna be in a haunt after the prophets. Okay, and this is check this out. Another video says,
plan to shut down the Harbour Bridge.
Now remember, the protests. It's like a pro-Palestine. They could do it, but now the Premier of New South Wales wants to stop this now. Let's see what he
for a
wants
weekend
to say.
protest has itself been shut down. The Premier today telling pro-Palestinian protesters it's too short notice. Tonight, they say they're happy to wait.
It's become a Sunday ritual. pro-Palestinian demonstrators taking to the streets of Sydney. But now, as images of starvation in Gaza shock the world, organisers want the Harbour Bridge to be the stage for a mass protest this weekend.
The bridge is a hugely iconic symbol, so that's why we think it's a very important step, because we need to do whatever we can to try to stop this genocide.
The Premier was quick to shut down the idea on the advice of police. We cannot support a protest of this scale, especially with 1 week's notice. We cannot allow Sydney to descend into chaos.
Okay, so it's like, yeah, I was wrong. But again, who knows why? So it's like I was wrong or not with this one right here. But yeah. You know, so hey, this video I thought they will mention they'll give giving me give us the reason why now, but it's as Esau is saying he is short notice. So okay, cool, it's short notice, so that's why it's not happening. But hey, it is what it is. But again, upwards of people, it has become a normal thing these days. So with that, man, hey, hopefully this session was edified. I say hey, shalom, and also if I have forgotten precepts, feel free to put them under this video. Hey, shalom.